really love. What is going on, everybody? Marshall live, and I am live, and I am here in LA today, and we're going to be talking about live branding. Who here thinks it would be cool to be able to make money doing whatever you want or doing stuff you already know? Anybody? That's kind of a trick question, right? Who wants more time freedom? Anybody? Oh, I thought I was going to be alone on that one. Who wants to sell more and make more money without selling and without being salesy? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So if it's cool with you guys, that's what I want to talk about today is what I call live branding. And I found a life hack. I call it a life hack because I've literally learned how to use social media and live video marketing to create a life completely by design. Like, what are we talking about, right? I'm 33 years old. I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere. I've been to 5 colleges. I have 0 college credits. I got a full academic ride to 3 of them. I got scholarships to play football, to be in cooking school. I've been the branch manager of a bank. Like, I've done all these great, amazing opportunities. I've made money, and I've failed at every single one of them. Because like a lot of people, my entire life I felt constricted. I felt like, oh man, like there's something more. I don't need to be inside. Like, I'm not wired like this. This is not me. Like, has anybody ever said that? Right? We've all felt like that before. So I kept asking myself a while back, I said, well, I came up with this thing and I started to understand. I was like, I gotta get more value for my time. Like, how do I get more value for my time? How do I create more value for what I'm doing? How do I stop trading time for money? And when I learned this, I was actually bartending. This is years ago, and somebody had given me like $100 tip or something. I was like, oh my God, $100. Like, oh, that's cool. I made good money, but how do I make more money without having to trade my time for money, right? Like, how do I stop having to show up to this physical job and start making money? So that's when I started my quest. And 5 years ago, I started down this road of trying to figure out how to become an entrepreneur. Now, the next question is, how many of you got into entrepreneurship to make more money and make your own schedule, but you literally just made a job for yourself? And not only that, but you made a tougher job for yourself. Has anybody done that before? 100%. And that's exactly what I did when I started. But this quest of like this relentless quest to figure out how do I get more value, how do I get more time, how do I make more money has led me literally to stand in this room right now. And I'm going to share a story with you guys, a little bit of how I got here, and then we're going to get into what I call live branding, and I'm going to show you guys the 3 pillars of live branding and how you guys can apply it literally to the business you have now, whatever you love the most, whatever you know the most about. You can apply it to anything. You can literally repeat this model, and you guys can have the similar success, or more success, you guys are probably smarter than me, that I've done over the last year. So the story I want to share with you guys is, this is my lovely girlfriend right here, Shannon, and she's been with me on this journey, and she's kind of seen these ups and downs, these peaks and valleys that we've been through, that we go through as entrepreneurs. Well, for me, I was like on the tail end of a 4-year like down like this, and finally last year, I just decided, you know what? I want to speak. Like, I want to talk. I got clear on what it was I'm good at and what I enjoy. And I don't know about you guys, but I suck at lots of stuff. Like the list of things I suck at is like this long. And the list of things I'm good at is like this long, right? But on that short list is talking and connecting and communicating. So I said, okay, well, how do I, now that I'm clear on what my purpose in life is, we talked to Hector what the purpose is, right? Now that I know my purpose is to hold that space for people, to give them hope, to give them permission, to give them options. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. You want to interview influencers? Awesome. You can literally make a full-time living doing that. Like, look what Tom Bilyeu does outside of Quest, or anybody like that, Lewis Howes, right? So I started asking myself these questions to get clear on what I want, and I said, I want to be a speaker. Well, okay, I have no experience, I have no network, I have no money. Okay, Marshall, but you want to be a speaker, cool. So who doesn't want to get paid to talk, right? But one day I just decided, like, everybody wants to talk about, oh, it took me 20 years to quit smoking, or it took me 15 years to get my dream. Like, no, it didn't take you that long, it took you a second. Like, you procrastinated for 20 years to quit smoking, but literally the choice to change your life, it happens in an instant, right? And now this is the power of manifestation and really believing what you do. So I'm standing there to go meet a client. I was in digital marketing at the time. I owned a digital marketing agency. It was going good. I was getting clients. I scaled up, got a bunch of clients. All of a sudden I was like, damn, I don't want to do all this work. What? It sucks. I don't want to do this. And So I'm sitting there, I'm standing on this corner. I literally, in San Diego, I'd just gotten out of a consult with a client. And I was thinking, God, I do not want to do this. I hope she says no. Like, what are we talking about? I should say no to money. And in that moment, I don't know what made me do it. I lifted my phone up and I went live to I didn't have an audience. I went live to like one person, right? And I was like, hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Marshall Gillen. And this year, I'm going to show you guys that you can become anything you want. And this is my journey to becoming a highly paid public speaker. I don't know if it's going to work. I could fail and fall flat on my face, but I don't think I'm going to. I invite you guys to join me, right? And that was literally it. And that was 6 months ago. So for the next 6 months, I floundered around. Shannon knows I was making a bunch of money selling the Facebook ads course in February. I listened to a Gary Vee podcast that made me feel like shit about myself, kind of in relation to imposter syndrome that I still have, that I was even feeling still with Hector last night. And Gary talked me into basically feeling bad for selling a $1,000 Facebook ads course. So instead of continued to do that, I literally shut it. I burned the whole thing down in an instant. I started selling it all for $1 a month. I created the Dollar Entrepreneur Club. To say that I was lost at this point in my life is an understatement. I was so freaking lost. Who's ever felt lost before? Yeah, me too. And so I'm super lost at this point, and I'm still struggling to figure out what it is. I'm still trying to get clarity. And all of a sudden, one day, June 25th to be exact, of this year, so my brand is just barely 6 months old. Marshall Live is like 6 months old. I decided, you know what? I don't know what I'm good at yet, but all I know is that people keep telling me my energy is good. So I'm just going to show up every day. I'm just going to show up, and I'm just going to see what happens. And over the course of the last 6 months of just showing up and deciding, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to get it right, but I'm going to show up every day with energy and inspire enough people to get excited about what they're doing, that even if I'm not the smartest guy to cure cancer or build a rocket, like at least I can get the guys who are and the gals who are smart enough, inspired enough to go chase their dreams, right? So literally that's what my whole mission has been on. And so I go over the last 6 months, I've built this brand out of nothing, right? Besides just talking a lot and having a lot of energy. And now, lo and behold, I get here, and all of a sudden 6 months later, I started connecting with people like Amanda who talk about personal branding. And I'm like, oh, so that's what I do. I do branding. I didn't even get it, right? So literally I mistakenly came upon the 3 pillars of live branding, and I want to share that with you guys so you guys can understand, like, whether you talk about fitness or Herbalife, or you own a brick and mortar business, or you do high tickets, or whatever it is you do, you can apply this and you guys can have some success building your online presence, right? Your influence, your impact, and your income. Because you guys have got to understand that the way that social media is viewed these days, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, how old everybody in this room is. I'm 33. I didn't grow up with social media. I didn't get my first phone until I was 17. I didn't get Facebook. And I fed MySpace for like the first 5 years of Facebook. Now, I'm trying to remember who my top 4 was, man. Top 8, I guess it was, right? So I'm trying to figure out how can I bring more awareness to what it is I do. How can I help other people? And that's when I came up with live video. Because when you think about it, for some reason, I don't know why, but in our minds, live video holds a space where we think authority, right? Like, if you see somebody live on NBC, I don't care if they're talking about how to make those bags. Like, you're like, oh, George, I saw you live on TV this morning. That's awesome. And now George holds a space in your head like, well, he must be some authority to what he's doing. He was on live TV, right? Has anybody ever wanted to be on live television? Or has anybody ever been on live television? Anybody in here? Hey, there you go. A couple of you guys are experts. You guys will come up here and teach me something. So what I'm saying is that, like, nowadays, though, it's not like that, right? Like, nowadays, everybody can raise their hand and who's been on live video, because I'm live right now. I'm streaming live right now. There's no barrier to me sending my message and my story to the masses, right? Like, nobody can tell me no. Literally, all I had to do was push a button on that phone and voila, I'm live. Voila. I'm live, right? And you guys can do the same thing too. And when you can show up consistently and you understand how to use the tools and resources that are available to you, damn, you can change your whole life. Like, that's crazy. What are we talking? For free. I've built my business for free. Free platforms, free, going live for free, reading books for free, YouTube, learning stuff for free. And I'll show you guys how to do that. So what I want you guys to think about is, one, and I'm going to talk about Facebook because I'm a Facebook dude, right? I like Facebook. I'm an old man. That's my shit. But this literally applies to every platform, right? If it's a live video, if there's live video functionality, then it applies. YouTube, Instagram, especially now that they added the feature where you can bring on a guest. Facebook, obviously. There's Periscope. You can go through Twitter, right? So now that we start to go, oh, okay, we're starting to think about live video and the power it gives us, and if we know that live video positions us as an authority in people's minds, then with that knowledge, how can we use that and leverage it to create ourselves as an authority in whatever market you're in, right? Now listen, this talk is not going to be good for more than a year maybe. We said 2 years tops maybe, before live video marketing is so oversaturated that we're going to have a new talk, a new strategy, and a new design to using it. So if there's nothing else you guys take action on, I promise you take action on this. Start making live video content and watch your business and your brand literally transform. Because think about it, right? The mobile phone, and if any Gary Vee people in here, I got this idea from him and I've just been hammering it home to everybody. The mobile phone is a TV. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's TVs. Everybody's got a TV in their pocket right now, right? So what does that mean to you guys as business owners, as entrepreneurs? That social media is no longer social, it's a business tool. And when we can learn to utilize the tool and leverage it like it's meant to, we can hack life. We can hack a life system, right? I'm standing up here as a keynote speaker. I have no business being here a year ago. I was out there making drinks with those people, setting up the bar at 5 o'clock. Like, I had never talked about branding or marketing. And what we need to think about is if the mobile phone is now a TV and everybody has it, what's a TV have on it? It has TV channels, right? Right? ABC, NBC, ESPN, MTV. What's your favorite channel? NBC? That's all right. Yeah, you don't watch TV anymore either. See, nobody watches TV anymore, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. They say that 1 in every 5 minutes on a mobile phone is spent on social media, and that statistic is like 8 months old or a year old, so it might be higher than that by now. So now in our minds, if we know that the mobile phone is now a TV, and we understand that Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, they're all just TV channels. Well now, oh shit. Oh, so I can be a TV star. I can create TV shows. Well, how do I create a TV show, Marshall? Don't overcomplicate it. Like I said earlier to some of you, entrepreneurs love to overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. It's so simple, right? How does TV work? They have a TV, they put a TV show on, they put the TV in front of the audience that cares about it, and then how does a TV channel make money? They show commercials in between the shows, right? It's the same principle now. The mobile phone is now a TV, Facebook is now a TV channel. The content that I make, Marshall Live is live right now. This is the show, and then the part where I make the money is my link, the URL. The link in the URL is now a commercial, right? So now we go, oh, as a content creator, all I have to do is make shows around my business, around my brand. How do I make a show daily? It doesn't have to be a show around high-ticket offers, right? And when we understand that, really what all it comes down to is being the type of person that shows up every day and does the things that successful people do. And all I do is just show up on this film every day and people go, oh, this guy kept popping up my feed every day. He's live. What did we say earlier in the beginning of the talk? For some reason, live puts you as an authority in people's mind. Now all of a sudden, this guy, this super successful entrepreneur, he sees me live in his feed a couple days. Now he has an event, and he goes, oh, I need you. He knows nothing about me. We've never even talked, and he invited me to come to Keynote. You know what I mean? That's the power of live video. So this is the formula that I accidentally discovered. I'm going to call it live branding. And you guys, I have a course that I talk about this exclusively in. But live branding is, and for you, we talked about this a little bit last night, when it comes down to branding, really what branding is about is it just means what space do you hold in your consumer's head? You can say whatever you want about your brand, and if you're good at branding, like I'm a branding badass, so I don't worry about it, but like just because you create it doesn't necessarily mean that's a space that's going to be held in people's head, right? So you guys have got to understand what branding is and what it isn't. Basically, branding just means like what do people say about you when you leave the room? What personality do you give off? Like how do people accept you and think about you, right? So when I think about that, and I think about branding, the reason I created live branding is because I wanted to create a new category, and I'm off on a tangent. I'm going to reel it back in. Anyways, live branding, new category I created, and live branding is just a fancy way for me to say how to build a personal brand utilizing live video. Like that's literally it. And I'm going to show you guys the three pillars that I've created. You guys can't find this anywhere else because I created it myself. No big deal. I'm just basking in the enjoyment for a second. Okay. And all right, guys. So let's get our pins out. And how many pillars of branding are there? 3 pillars of branding. Now, the first pillar of branding that we're going to talk about is brand strategy. Now, I know it's been the end of the day. I can't spell, so what I do when I get towards the end of it, I just get squigglier. I'm serious, my cell phone is making me a lot of money, but it's also making me stupider. Like, I just have to, like, push a couple words, and then pick from 1 to 3. And if they don't have the 1 to 3, then I go to voice. I'm like, oh, shit, encyclopedia? So, when we talk about brand strategy, again, you guys, let's not overcomplicate this. Like, literally, let's not. Like, people get thrown on those words like, oh, brand strategy. Like, has anybody in here ever sat down besides you don't count and made a brand strategy before? Yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys some super cool things. So there's a couple parts to a brand strategy. Now, this is what's going to get a little tricky because we're going to write some things right now before the next 2 points. And I'm just going to cover these quick because I don't have a lot of time. But the first part of building your brand strategy is deciding what your purpose is. What is your purpose in life? My purpose in life is to show up every day and create a space that tells people that they can do it, that gives people the permission to do it, that gives people the belief, the options, the hope to do it. That's my purpose in life. I was put here to tell you, yes, you can. I can't build a rocket, but I can get you motivated to build one if you know how. That's what my purpose is. So Hector covered it. You guys got to clear out what your purpose. So brand strategy, number one to start with is your brand purpose, okay? The second thing that you're going to start with, and we talked about this too, and is your target audience. Okay, this is the thing. A lot of entrepreneurs, they get in, they want to make money, but they fail to identify their target audience. Like this, if you sell to everybody, you sell to nobody, right? So always a specialist, never a generalist. You got to get absolutely crystal clear on who it is you're trying to sell to. I think we all know that, right? And that's the second point. So the third point to your brand strategy is the values. And again, you guys, it doesn't matter how many conferences, how many books you read, how many webinars you watch, successful people are always going to be saying the exact same thing to the point where you're like, damn, I've already heard this 50 times. Yeah, because success is that simple. You just have to show up every day and do it. You got to work your face off and believe that you can do it, and then it gets easier and easier, or you get better and better, whatever quote you like, right? But that's really it. So when you guys see these, there's no secret strategy other than follow the template, show up and try your best every day, serve first, and you guys are going to win. So when you guys are developing your very own brand strategy, get clear on your purpose, get clear on your target audience, get clear on your values. The second thing, that once you get clear on your values, your brand values, another thing is going to come to the surface. And that's your brand personality. Now this one's super important. Your brand personality talks about who you are and what you're about. Stephen Hughes gave a great breakout session there, and you basically explained to me what your brand personality is, what it is that you like, what you stand for. You're not some guy that carries his jug in the thing and blah, blah, blah. Like, I love that. I can relate to that. And now I'm just excited to follow your content and learn more about you, maybe get you on a live someday if you're willing. And it's because your personality resonates with mine. Now, keep in mind, you guys, your personality not everybody's going to like you, right? There's a thirds of marketing, third of the people that know you, third of the people that don't know you, third of the people that hate you, right? That's not true, I messed that up. It's not true. It's people who love you, people who hate you, and people who don't know about you. So the point of that is that there's always going to be somebody that doesn't know you or doesn't care what you have to say or doesn't like you. But you know what, fuck them, like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I make money off of like 100 people in the world. There's like billions of them. So if 7 billion of them don't like you, who cares, man? As long as 1,000 of them like me, that's what matters. So find your lane and get to it. So purpose, target audience, values, personality. The other one is what is the other one? Oh yeah, I struggle on what I want to call this one, but basically it's just your positioning, right? How are you positioned in the mind of your target audience, right? Like, how do they view you? And really what it comes down to is getting clear on, I call it an elevator pitch, right? But it's basically like a mission statement, kind of. And what I say about this is, how do you describe your business? How do you describe what your brand does, right? Like, what is it that sets your brand apart that is going to be positioned in a mind different? So my positioning for my brand is live branding, right? Like, she does personal branding, and I do live branding. I know how awesome she is, so it's nothing against that. But when I wanted to start my business and I wanted to go, well, how do I stand out? I had to create that new category, a new position so I can be number one. Because if I'm going against Amanda and her knowledge and that experience, I'm going to lose. I'm not as knowledgeable or as experienced, right? So what do? I don't try to compete in a personal branding category. I compete in a branding category I made all for myself, okay? And anybody can do this. This is for anything. The Austin Iliano, who couldn't be here, unfortunately, like one of his things is he wears this unicorn like onesie, and he like dances around and does his thing, but that's his personality. Like that's who he is, right? That's the way he's positioning his brand in the minds of the people that he wants to serve. So brand strategy. So that's number one pillar to live branding. So whatever it is that you guys know the most about, whatever it is that you guys are passionate about, just apply this template to it and build out a brand strategy. Branding is everything. I don't ever have to sell anything because I've branded myself. Because people listen to me and they go, oh, he knows what he's talking about. Or I like him. Or that guy's an asshole, I don't like him. Like whatever, right? But I don't ever have to sell anything. I just show up every day, I educate people, I own my truths, like I serve first, and people come to me. Came to me for a speaking gig. I had somebody I'd never even talked to hit me up the other day and give me $1,000 to get on the phone with him like for 4 hours. Like, give me a break. What are we talking about? You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. I used to work a whole month, a whole half a month, 2-3 weeks to make $1,000 take home, you know? So the second part is going to be your story, okay? Now this one, you guys, is so important. So important to the fact that Les Brown has made a living. If anybody knows Les Brown, arguably one of the best motivational speakers of all time, he's made a living off of one speech that he gives, and it's going around telling people how to tell their story. That's all he does. He just tells people, tell your story. Tell your story. You know how powerful it is? If you ever listen to Les Brown, you probably know the story of him when the DJ got drunk and old Les slid into the DJ seat and he wasn't supposed to, and he came in, he did his fast tongue-talking thing. That's how he's built his motivational speaking, is just telling his story. You guys cannot underestimate the power of your brand's story, right? Because that's how we communicate. I can sit up here and give you point by point by point, or I can tell you a story with some points that show some positive things that I've done to overcome my story, right? My problem. And that's what allows me not to have to sell, because people know me, like me, and trust me because of my stories. So think about some stories that you guys have in your life, all right? Now what I say when I'm talking about stories, what I'm really talking about is like, you know, people think, oh, I don't have a special talent, or I'm not innately good at it or anything, or I don't have anything special about me. That's not true. Like, that's not true. Whatever your biggest mess is, whatever has been the biggest thing in your entire life, your biggest mess is your biggest message, right? So whatever situation you're in now is your testimonial. You're having trouble getting clients, you're having trouble doing this, you're having trouble doing that. Go live, create a community about it. Right? Talk about it, because when you go live and you start showing up every day and you've got a good brand strategy in place and you learn how to tell your story, and then you're showing up on live video every single day and you're positioning yourself in front of people who care what you're saying, do you know how freaking much impact you're going to make? Do you know how much more influence you're going to have? How much more income you're going to make? It's crazy. So get clear on a story. I have an origin story, but I also have like 5 stories I could literally grab out of my back pocket at any given time and tell you guys. I've memorized them, I've talked about them, I've picked them apart, I know when to go, the tonality behind it, and all of you guys can do that. Doesn't matter what your business is, doesn't matter what your brand is. Find your story. The last event we sat out and I talked about storytelling. That's the first thing, that's been around forever, right? When the cavemen used to go out and go hunting and they would, do their thing or whatever, they would all come back at the end of the night, and what would they gather around? They'd gather around a fire and they would tell stories. It's been with us forever and ever and ever. Humans are always going to be telling stories. If you learn how to tell your story, you're going to make a lot of money and you're going to have a lot of impact, okay? And then the third pillar to live branding is modeling. And I'm going to show you guys how right now. No, I'm kidding. Modeling, you guys, and this is the one that people sleep on all the time, but this literally might be one of the most important lessons that you learn. It's literally the shortcut to success, and when it's modeling. And all I'm saying is success leaves clues, and if you want to know how to be successful, the shortest way, the most efficient way, is literally people always be like, oh yeah, I know. But if I go around and ask people, well, who are the top 5 people that you model your life after, they're like, whoa. Right? If there's one thing you guys can get clear on, is figure out people to model. Who's already doing what you want to do at a high level? Who's already having success doing what you want to do at the level that you want to do it at? So an example of this for me would be somebody like Ty Lopez. right? For me, I model my business after Ty, not because of the cars and the women and all of that. I model my business after Ty's because Ty does what I want to do. He's basically a showman. He's creating a platform. He just learns every day, and then he creates attention online, and he goes out and gets the smartest and most successful people, and he puts them on there. I love that about it. That's the life I want. Some people want to build sales funnels. Russell Brunson loves making funnels. He loves getting junk mail. Like, he loves that. Like, whatever, right? So whatever it is that you want to do, find somebody who's having the most success at it and model it. Take the things that they're doing and look at how they do it and then just repeat it, right? It's like what Picasso say, good artists create, great artists steal, right? Like, don't overcomplicate this, you guys. Like, I'm a simple man. I need simple processes. I need a simple life. Like, that's my thing. So when you guys can get clear on modeling who it is you want to model, you guys are going to see your success go up. So what I would suggest that you guys do is I have my clients and people in my course, I have them make a list of the top 25 people that they want to follow. And then I have them narrow that down to the top 5 people. So there's 2 reasons for this that I have them do this. One is engagement. This is just like a little ninja tip. But one of the reasons I have them make this top 25 list is because then Monday through Friday, I have them engage with that influencer's content, like at least one time a week. So on Monday, it's these 5 people, Tuesday, these 5. So every 25 people, their top influence, they're interacting with their content online every day, which is gonna help you hack not only their audience, but also give you more of a chance to connect with influencers. But the other reason that I like this is that once you write down these lists of top 25 people that you wanna model your life at and you narrow it down to the top 5, then it's it. Like, that's it. That's all you gotta do. I wake up in the morning, I say, what did Ty do yesterday? Oh, he went live about between 5:30 and 7 p.m. Pacific time every day. He does this. The audience loved this, or they didn't. Like, Tony Robbins got this reception from his thing and not. Find people who are doing what you want to do. It's really that easy. So before I end, and I'm almost out of time, who here has ever done a live video on Facebook or on Instagram or YouTube? Yeah, hey, this is my kind of crowd. I like this. And for those of you who haven't, what's keeping you back? Anybody? Structure? Scared? Shyness? You know what? I find that
messing up live.
That's the thing that people say about that, but like, you live life live. Like, when I'm just talking to people, like, I don't like walk into my meeting and be like, oh God, I hope I don't say the wrong thing. Like, no, it's easy. Like, I hate not being live. I hate making pre-recorded content now because I feel like there's nobody on the other side of the camera. I can't connect to anybody, right? So, you guys, if there's anything you guys are going to do, if there's anything you guys are taking away from this, all the wonderful tactics that they've given you, these people are all smarter than me. Those are all great tactics. But if you want to know how to package it and present it to a spot that's going to make you more money, more impact, and more influence, the live branding strategy, this is what's changed my life. I got clear on a brand strategy, I honed in on what my story was, and I started modeling people who were successful. Those 3 things, literally, that's all I've done. And in 6 months, I've built a business that I don't have to work for anybody else anymore. I get to do the things that I want. Like, I'm living my dream life. Now it's just time to scale it, right? So before I hop off, I do have a gift for you guys. I'm a live video guy, like, that's my jam, but I keep getting objections, and the first objection I always get is, I don't know how to go live. I don't know how to do live video. So I've actually put together a free guide. I don't want anything from you. It's completely free. It's the 8 steps to dominating live video marketing, and inside this training guide, I've put the 8 steps. Actually, I'll ruin the surprise with a couple bonus ones in there, and it's actually 10 steps to dominating live video marketing, how you guys can use live video marketing, use the live branding strategy, apply them, and you guys can literally increase your online influence and personality, and it's incredible. So if you guys want that free guide, let's erase this here. If you guys want that free guide to download, I'll give you the URL. And the URL is, it's time to go live.com. Okay? So I hope you guys got a little bit of value out of this. Does anybody have any questions before I hop off?
I have a question. Do you feel like you started out, you were really rough, and you got better and better and better, or you've always been just like really?
I cheated because I bartended for 12 years. So my life was like being personable and like, hey, and upselling and downselling and getting you to come back. But like, that's a funny answer, but like, the reality is when you started SEO, did you get better?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, how did you deal with those
The-
You just brushed off and kept
The
going?
the same as you dealt with the first time that you promised a client something that you couldn't fulfill, or the time that you undersold yourself and you shouldn't have. Like in life you make mistakes. And for me, I was clear on my purpose and my why. So when I make a mistake, I don't care. Same as like when you make a mistake in your lane, you don't care. And when we're trying to branch out into something bigger and new, it can be scary. But like literally, there's just either you do it or you don't. Like that's part of my brand personality. Like people know I'm a blue collar kind of guy. Like I don't listen to excuses. Like either you're doing it or you're not. Like either you show up or you don't. And I don't mean that to be a hard ass, but that's just how I am.
No, I just wonder if you had any tips, tricks, or strategies that you use for like, I don't know, if you made a huge mistake. Yeah.
I got an amazing guy that actually will help you. Listen, this is the thing that I learned about coaching. It's not just coaching what I coach, but people need, the only thing that people pay for is structure, right? And like done for you. Like that's it, implementation. Yeah, like that's it, right? So you don't have to really worry about messing up. Like when people come to you, you're not always gonna get it right. You're going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get better at everything as you go along. But as long as you're being that person that shows up, that's it. Like you guys have got to understand that people are inspired by seeing people take action. Like I don't do anything special. You know how many times I've gotten it wrong this year? Hector, how many times have I pivoted this year? My brand has been like 17 different things until June 25th when I go, oh, I'm Marshall Live, and I focus on live branding. But you can never be afraid to get it wrong. And you know what makes a difference is your story. Because if you can create a story with your audience, it creates relatability and commonality, and that allows you to move with speed. And why is that important? Because I can stand here right now and talk about live branding, but my audience knows me and loves me enough. They know that I'm like, I don't even want to make money off them. I feel bad because I want to just help them. Like they know that because I'm authentic and I show up every day, that if I do pivot, I could go tomorrow and talk about automotive cars or something. That's repetitive, redundant. And they would follow me. Because they know, oh, you know what? Marshall's a good dude. Like he has my best interest in mind. So as long as you create that culture,
And people forgive you when they see
yeah, because everybody's real. Who's ever made a mistake in here? Yeah, exactly, right? So don't worry about getting it right. Everybody wants to be perfect all the time. Like, don't worry about that. When you mess up, it makes you more relatable. I've cried on lives before. Like, I don't care. Anyways, we got to go. It's time to eat. So, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. And I will see you guys soon.